You just spent 9 months growing this garlic, and one wrong watering decision right now can leave you with soft bulbs that rot before winter. That yellow leaf might be the warning sign that harvest time is closer than you think. Read it wrong, and you can lose the storage quality you worked all season to build. Before you water again, test one plant from the edge of the row. Pull up a single bulb and let it tell you what is happening underground. Brush off the loose dirt and look at the wrapper around the bulb. Press your thumb into it. That outer skin should feel tight and papery. If it already feels loose or spongy, you have probably missed your window. But if it feels firm, you caught it exactly when you needed to. That single test tells you more than any number of yellow leaves ever could. Those lower leaves you see yellowing are the oldest leaves on the plant. They have already done their job, and now the garlic is moving those stored nutrients into the bulb before harvest. This is where many gardeners get the timing wrong. They see yellow and think the plant needs more water or more time. But by the time the lower leaves start yellowing, most of the bulb growth is already complete. Waiting until every leaf turns brown can push you past the best harvest window. So every drop of water you add after that point does not make the cloves bigger. It softens the wrapper layers. It keeps the soil wet around the bulb. It slows down the natural drying process that needs to happen before harvest. And when you finally do pull that garlic, the heads are heavy with moisture. They take longer to cure. They are more likely to rot in storage. And the outer skins that should be tight and protective start to break down before you even get them out of the ground. I learned this the hard way my second season growing garlic. I saw those yellow leaves and kept watering because I thought the plant was struggling. I left the bulbs in the ground for another 2 weeks, waiting for every leaf to die back. When I finally pulled them, the heads looked fine on the outside. But when I split one open, the cloves were already separating. They had pushed against each other and split the wrapper from the inside. That garlic never stored well. It dried out fast and lost flavor within a couple of months. I had spent all that time and ended up with mediocre garlic that I had to use quickly. That was the year I started testing bulbs early instead of guessing. So what exactly are you looking for when you check that test bulb? I want you to look at 3 things. First, the color of the leaves. Many gardeners harvest when several of the lower leaves have turned yellow or brown while the upper leaves are still partly green. Second, the wrapper. Peel back just the outermost layer. The skin underneath should be papery, not wet, not slimy, not translucent. It should tear like tissue paper, not like damp cloth. Third, the cloves. Split the bulb in half right down the middle. Look at the cross section. The cloves should fill the entire head with no empty spaces. There should be no soft spots, no browning, no dark patches at the base. If all 3 of those things check out, your garlic is ready. If the bulb passes the test, stop watering and prepare to harvest soon while the weather is dry. Pick a dry stretch of weather if you can. Garlic comes out of the ground much cleaner when the soil is dry. Wet soil sticks to the roots and the wrapper and makes a mess. Dry soil crumbles off and leaves the bulb looking clean without you having to scrub it. When you do start pulling, be careful with your tools. A narrow fork or trowel gives you more control and reduces the chance of damaging bulbs. Start about 6 inches away from the stem and push the tool straight down. Then tilt it back gently to lift the soil from underneath. Work your way around the plant if you have to. The goal is to loosen the ground so the bulb comes out whole. Then grab the stem low down, right above the bulb, and pull straight up. Do not yank it. Do not twist it. A snapped stem means you lose your handle for hanging and you have to lay the bulb flat to cure, which takes up more space and slows down air circulation. Now here's the mistake I made that cost me a whole year's harvest. I washed my garlic. I stood there with the hose and sprayed off every speck of dirt because I wanted to see those beautiful white bulbs. It felt like the right thing to do. But at this stage, adding extra water can work against you. The bulb needs to cure, and curing means drying from the outside in. When you wash garlic, you are forcing water into the space between the wrapper layers. That moisture gets trapped. It does not evaporate fast enough. Extra moisture trapped between the wrapper layers can increase the chance of mold and storage problems, especially if airflow is poor. Storage problems often begin around the neck area where moisture can remain trapped. You might not even see it until you cut into the bulb months later and find that the inside is soft and brown and smells like a damp basement. I lost a large part of that harvest because I washed the bulbs and stored them before they were properly dried. Now, I never do it. Instead, I let the soil dry on the bulb. Most of it falls off on its own during curing. The rest I brush off with my fingers when the garlic is completely dry. The next step is curing, and this is where many harvests succeed or fail. Curing is not optional. Give garlic at least a couple of weeks to cure properly before storing it. During that time, moisture moves out of the stem and the neck and the wrapper layers. The outer skins tighten up. The moisture level drops, the flavors become stronger, and the bulb develops the dry protective layers it needs for storage. Here is how you do it. Hang your garlic in bundles of 5 to 10 heads. Tie them by the stems with twine. Hang them in a shaded spot with good airflow. A porch with an overhang works. A barn or a shed with open windows works. A garage with the door cracked open works. What does not work is a closed room with no ventilation or a spot in direct sunlight. Direct sunlight can overheat the bulbs, damage the outer layers, and reduce storage quality. Shade and moving air. That is the rule, but there is one curing mistake that can ruin perfectly good garlic even after you harvested it correctly. People lay the bulbs too close together. If they are touching, air cannot circulate between them. The damp spots stay damp, and that is where mold starts. Space them out like you are giving each bulb its own breathing room. If you do not have enough space, hang them in smaller bundles so air moves through the stems. If you do not have a place to hang them, lay them flat on a wire rack or a piece of window screen. Make sure the bulbs do not touch each other. Air needs to circulate around every head. Turn them every few days so they dry evenly on all sides. After about a week, check the necks. They should start to feel firm and dry. After 2 weeks, the outer wrappers should crinkle like tissue paper. After 3 weeks, you should be able to rub off the dirt with your thumb and see a clean, tight bulb underneath. That is when you know curing is done. Once the garlic is fully cured, it is time to trim and sort the bulbs. Cut the roots down to about 1/4 inch. Trim the stem, leaving about 1 inch above the bulb. For hard-neck garlic, leave enough stem attached during curing, then trim it after the bulb has dried properly. Soft-neck varieties are more forgiving. You can braid them with the stems still attached and hang them in your kitchen, but only if they cured properly first. Wet garlic from a short cure will rot inside that braid, and you will smell it before you see it. After trimming, sort your garlic by size and firmness. The biggest heads with the tightest skins are your long-term storage garlic. Those go in the cool, dry spot. The medium heads are your mid-season garlic. Use them from October through January. The smaller ones or the ones with any soft spots are your immediate use garlic. Eat those first within the first month or 2. Storing garlic is simple but specific. A cool, dry place around 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit works well for many home gardeners. A basement corner works. An unheated garage shelf works. A root cellar works if it stays dry. What does not work is a plastic bag. Plastic traps moisture. Moisture makes rot. Always use something breathable. Mesh bags, paper bags with holes punched in them, wooden crates with slats, cardboard boxes with ventilation holes cut in the sides. Check your stored garlic every 3 or 4 weeks. Run your hand over the heads and feel for softness. One rotten bulb can spread problems to nearby bulbs, so remove soft or damaged heads as soon as you find them. Here is something many gardeners discover after a few seasons. The biggest bulbs are not always the best storage bulbs. Large heads can sometimes have less protective wrapper quality depending on variety and growing conditions. The ones that look slightly smaller but feel denser and have tight wrappers are usually the ones that keep the longest. Those are the bulbs you will appreciate most when winter arrives. Use the biggest ones first and save the medium firm ones for later. If your garlic starts sprouting green shoots in January, your storage conditions may be too warm, or the bulbs may have entered their growth cycle. Move them to a cooler spot. Sprouting garlic is still edible, but the flavor gets milder and the texture gets spongy. If your garlic goes soft and mushy, that means it was too moist. Next year, dry it longer and store it in a drier spot. Those two problems are almost always fixable by adjusting your curing and storage conditions. Many home gardeners lose a good garlic harvest because the timing of harvest and curing is wrong, even when the plants looked healthy all season. They water when they should stop. They wash when they should brush. They cut when they should leave whole. They store in plastic when they should use mesh. Most of these mistakes are avoidable once you know what signs to watch for. The plant gives you clear signs: the lower leaf yellowing, the tight wrapper, the firm clove structure. The timing window is not mysterious. It is right there in front of you if you just take the time to look. So here is your action plan. Reduce or stop watering shortly before harvest when the bulbs are already mature and the soil is still holding enough moisture. Dig a test bulb now and check all three things: leaves, wrapper, clove firmness. If your garlic passes the test, stop watering and get ready to pull the whole bed. If it does not pass the test, wait 3 days and test another bulb. Check again. And again. That is how you find the right harvest window instead of guessing. That is how you end up with garlic that makes you proud every time you pull a head off the shelf. That is how you get the kind of garlic that people ask about when they visit your kitchen. And that is how you avoid that sinking feeling of pulling up loose, broken heads after months of waiting. If this helped you avoid a bad garlic harvest, tap the like button so more gardeners can find this tip. Share this video with someone growing garlic this season. And tell me in the comments, what is the biggest garlic mistake you have made? Subscribe for more practical garden fixes you can use today, not next week. Your garlic is waiting. Go check it.